Welcome to the Jackson Sewing Academy, and I'm April Jackson. Today, I'd like to show you how we're going to do a simple bustle on a wedding gown. So today, we're going to work on this lovely dress. I just want you to take note first, the finished hem in the front and on the sides is right to the floor. So I'm going to have our bride turn around so we can see her train. She has a mermaid dress. And this is the area that we are going to incorporate into a bustle. A bustle is an old term that clothing had in the old days. But what we do is we want to take this extra fabric and tack it up in the back so that the bride can dance and move around on her wedding day. This particular dress, we have a lace, we have the underlap material. This is just a simple knit, but sometimes it will be a satin. And our lining underneath have already been shortened so that it is the same length as the floor. So we just have to maneuver these into our bustle. The first thing we want to check is make sure that it is tacked together and one, so when we move it moves as one. You will see that on the side seam it's already tacked, so it will move. And our goal is to just find somewhere pleasing where what we want is you're going to have it so that attached at the very back on her skirt, it's going to be at the base of her mermaid section. And you can see that if I were to pin that right here, that's just touching the floor, and that is a good look. You can always have it a little bit on the ground, a bit of a train, but we don't need that for here. We're going to put a pin in to hold that. When I'm pinning a client, I only do one side. I don't worry about doing both. We are going to do measurements afterwards to determine where the other side. We just want to be able to give our client a visual of how this bustle is going to look. And now the center is proper, right to the floor, and at the side seam, but we still have an area right here that's touching. So what I like to do is just take another piece, and this is all treble here. There's really no set way to do this because every dress is different. We're going to take you want to catch both the lining. So I'm putting my hand underneath because I want to flip just enough to get that extra piece that was hanging on the ground. And this will actually get pinned into the same spot as our first. Let's get tucked in. And when all is said and done, it's on the bride, this is the view she will see when she's looking in the mirror. Now, we're actually going to put the bustle in the sewing room. To do our bustle, we're going to need some thread. I always use white, even if this is off-white. My reason, I have used off-white on dresses, and it comes out brown and beige. I find white is just the most crisp. We are going to thread our needle using 3 strands of thread. When we double it, it'll be a 6-strand. Bridal note, do not wear lipstick. Do not wear any makeup when you're working with weddings because you can get makeup on your gowns. And if you happen to be moistening your thread with your lipstick, not good for the wedding dress. Our needle is ready to go. The second little area that we pinned, I'm going to mark it like this. And I'm actually going to take another pin and cross pin it. So in case it falls out, we don't want it to fall out. But this is where one of our bustle loops will go. Our middle loop, which would be on the center seam, is going to be right here. So I'm going to put my pin across here to mark. And what I need to do now is determine where that spot is on the other side. One thing with a wedding dress, and especially a better made dress, appliques are usually mirrored on each side. So I can determine where the other pin goes by measuring down the center and across, or also by matching up where the pin is on the applique. I'm going to use the applique method for this. This is right in between these 2 appliques here. And there's a second right there. First thing we're going to do is we are going to create our loops. I'm going to start in the center, find where my center pin is, right here. Taking my needle and thread underneath, I'm going to come up right at that spot. And the fact that there's a little bit of a leaf, I'm going to work with that. And we are going to do a chain stitch. Ultimate goal is to keep all your threads nice and smooth. So I've made a loop, put my hand through it, and I'm going to grab this thread and pull it down. That makes one stitch. We're going to keep doing this till we get a chain the length that we want. If your garment is moving around a lot, like mine is, we are going to make this chain that is 1.25 inches. Our goal is to fit over top of our clear bustle button. This is a 1 centimeter or 1/2 inch button. Our main goal will be that this will go over top of that button without being too loose. Once we have our chain to the length that we need, we just need to create a loop out of that. To stop the chaining, we want to make sure we're nice and secure in the base of the stitching we just did at the base of this loop. Before I do my other loops, I want to get my button in place. Underneath, I always like to hide my knots. So I'm going to come underneath and at the very top of this mermaid, needle and thread come through. This is just a 2-hole button, so up 1 hole, down and through, and we want to make sure this button is nice and secure as well. It's going to be taking the weight of the skirt. Remember, we are using a 6-strand, so we don't have to do too many passes. Wrap around strings to make a shank, and then I do a double back stitch to tie it off. What's lovely is that the button is clear and you cannot see it. When I was employed at a bridal shop, this particular task, what you're seeing me do in this time frame, they would normally charge $120. That can be an awesome income opportunity for you, or it can save you some money to learn to do this for your own wedding day. I have my thread through both the top lace and the bottom layer. So axis 1, couple of back stitches to secure your area, and we are going to make our loop. Okay. We are now at about 1 inch and about 1/8 for our string. Knot it off. Now we're going to take our needle and thread, secure the base of the bustle. If your client's dress is really delicate, you may use a button, one of the clear buttons underneath to help support this area. But this particular material, it's light enough and that I feel we don't need to take that extra step. So a nice secure connection at the base. And our bustle is ready. Whenever we have a multiple point bustle, we always add the side pieces on first. So we're going to take our left and our right and add it onto our center button. 1, 2, and now we take our last, the center button, put it on top. We can pull these out if we want, we can tuck them in. Typically, I like to fan out the center back. But now our bride is ready to dance the night away. And it is totally fine to have a little bit on the ground because we still want to have that train effect, but you would not want to have any more than this. But otherwise, we'll turn her sideways. You see? She is ready to do some dancing. And that is how you do a 3-point bustle. Thank you for joining me.